we discussed about the importance of entities, but how does Google understand the association between words and implicitly their grouping into entities? Well, this is where word embeddings comes in. I will spare you of all the background and technical information and try to keep this as simple and non-technical as possible. This should hopefully serve our purpose of shedding a top-level understanding on how Google strengthens the associations between different words and the ultimate formation of entities. So initially, every word into a dataset is vectorized and distributed in a huge number of dimensions, each dimension analyzing the word from a different perspective. Think about it like a multi-universe where Spider-Man has different skills, meanings, and even look differently. At face value, as a human, if I asked you to look at two different people and provide you with no information or no context whatsoever, well, would you be able to draw the conclusion that you are in fact looking at the same concept of Spider-Man? The answer is no, of course. However, if I showed you 5 people, asked you to identify the 2 Spider-Men and provided you with a huge list of attributes for each of these 5 people, the probability that you will answer correctly will increase. Of course, this list could have information on the maximum speed of each of the 5 people, let's say fast, slow, medium speed, super fast, and so on. This would be in effect one dimension. Another dimension could be clothing, let's say business suit, casual clothes, Spider-Man suit, and so on. In brief, by analyzing the common attributes between the 5 people or words, you would be able to deduct the level of similarity between the 2 concepts and form the most likely entity association. So now, because you understand that within your training dataset the vectors buffer, consultancy, and digital have the highest number of similar attributes, for example, they are most often used in similar context, words surrounding it, and so on, well, you can now conclude that there is a high probability of these words being associated and form an entity. This entity would be buffer digital consultancy. Of course, do keep in mind that the model will also form a huge number of other entity associations. Some examples could be an entity for digital consultancy services. Another one could be buffer digital marketing, and so on, following which the process repeats. These entities are now vectorized, placed in a multi-dimensional space, and here we go again. Finally, earlier in the course, we mentioned the ability of tuning models. We provided the example of ChatGPT being generally perceived to be more creative but less accurate than Bard. We also provided the example of cats, dogs, and milk associations. You should now have a better understanding of how the same prompt or search may generate 2 completely different answers and contexts. For example, given Google's focus on accuracy, its SGE experience may focus its output on the highest probability of an entity association, in this case, buffer digital consultancy. By contrast, a more creative Bing chat experience may conclude that buffer digital marketing is a more appropriate output, even if it doesn't have the highest absolute probability. I hope all this makes sense. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.